Good morning, my dear students. Today is the fourth session of the chapter 2 dear, and this would be the last session for this chapter. Here, Leo Tolstoy is speaking about a place called as Monaco, where about 7,000 inhabitants were there in this particular country. Now, as we move on, the king had all sorts of luxuries in his life. He had everyone, but the thing is he had less in number. And now, in order to feed them, he wanted to have a source of revenue where he started collecting tax. So this tax was not sufficient, so he wanted to have a special source of revenue which came from a gaming house where people came there to play roulette. And Monaco remained the monopoly of the business. Now, as we move on to the chapter, the king is enjoying all sorts of a luxury of a real king, but everything is in a small scale actually. Till then, Monaco was considered to be as a peaceable or a peace-loving country. They did not have any sorts of a problem. But now, the problem arises where a person has committed a murder. So, as we have already seen that, the country did not have any criminals. So, this is the first time that a person has committed murder. Now, what has to be done? That was a question mark. So, the king of Monaco called the prosecutors, jurymen, barristers. They had a committee. In that, after lots of arguing and judging, they came up with a decision. The first decision was death sentence. Cut the man's head off. So here, they had problem, they had a hitch here. First, they wrote the letter to the French government. Next, they wrote the letter to Italian government. Next, they asked the soldier. So, all three suggestion was ruled out. Now, again the committee was called. So, in this committee, they altered the sentence, that is a judgment, from death sentence to life imprisonment. Well, people could think that the king has shown kind of a mercy towards the criminal. So now, in this life imprisonment, they appointed a guard. Now, what was the work of this guard? He was supposed to go fetch food, give it to the criminal. At the beginning, they did not have a proper place. Now that they have some place for the criminal to stay, they have appointed the guard. After a year, king noticed a special expenditure which came up to 600 francs. Here the condition is, our criminal is young and healthy and may live more than 50 years. So again it's a problem. When they calculated, the sum amount came very high. So they wanted to have a solution for this. Again, the committee was called. Again, the subcommittee was called. Now in the discussion, they said that why don't we, dismiss the guard? If we dismiss the guard, definitely criminal will run away. So thinking about it, thinking about the expenses, the prince even said, okay, continue, go ahead with that. They dismissed the guard. The criminal waited, thinking that the guard would get food for him. He came outside, searched everywhere. There was no one. He went himself, fetched food, came back, latched himself, and he is sitting inside the prison. The next day also followed with the same thing. Now again they had a question, why is this fellow not running away? What is the reason? So let us get into the text now. We shall have to tell him straight out, said they, that we do not want to keep him. So the minister of justice had him brought before him. So now they have a question mark. The question mark is, why is this criminal not running away? Because he don't have a guard to look after. Why is he not running? What is the reason? So now they came to a conclusion where they could have asked the criminal directly, straight out. Asking him, why are you not running? Because you don't have a guard here. Why don't you run away? They thought, let us ask directly to the criminal. Why don't you run away? Said the minister. There is no guard to keep you. You can go where you like and the prince will not mind. So the ministers, they are asking him, the minister of justice, he has brought the criminal in front and they are asking him, why are you not running? You don't have a guard here. We don't mind, even the prince won't mind. Why are you not running away from here? Let us see what's the reply of the criminal. I dare say the prince would not mind, replied the man, but I have nowhere to go. I am sure that the prince will not mind. Why will he mind? Do you think so that he will mind about it? No. Suppose if I had to try to run away, where should I go? What can I do? You have ruined my character. Your sentence and people will turn their backs on me. You people, you have ruined my character. By your sentence. You people have ruined my character by your sentence. Sentence is nothing but the judgment. And people will turn their backs on me. Mean to say that they will not have any sorts of a respect towards me because I am a criminal. So do you think so that the people will show any such of a respect? Definitely no. Besides, I have got out of the way of working. Now I don't have a proper way of working. Where should I go? What should I do? What about my life? It is you people who have ruined my character. You have treated me badly. It is you people who have treated me badly. It's not fair. In the first place, when once you sentenced me to death, you ought to have executed me. But you did not do it. First you said death sentence, mean to say execute. Executors cut off the head. You people would have stick down to it. But you did not do that. Instead, you altered the sentence. That is one thing. I did not complain about that. Then you sentenced me to imprisonment for life and put a guard to bring me my food. But after a time, you took him away again, and I had to fetch my own food. Again, I did not complain. But now, you actually want me to go away? I can't agree to that. You may do as you like, but I won't go away. So here, look at the way that the criminal is speaking. He says, first you people wanted to execute me. You gave the death sentence. You people were not in a position to keep up that, so you altered the death sentence to life imprisonment. In the life imprisonment, you gave me the guard. The guard was fetching food for me. And the day, you dismissed the guard. Did I had any question? Did I ask anything? Did I complain? No. Then how can you ask me to go away from here? You people do whatever you want to do. I am not going to go away from here. I'm going to be here in this prison. What was to be done? Once more, the council was summoned. What course could they adopt? The man would not go. They reflected and considered. The only way to get rid of him was to offer him a pension. And so they reported to the prince. "There is nothing else for it," said they. "We must get rid of him somehow." The sum fixed was 600 francs, and this was announced to the prisoner. So somehow these people wanted to get rid of the criminal. So a criminal is so stubborn that he says he won't go anywhere. He would stay in the prison. Because it is they who ruined his character. People will turn their backs. What could he do after going from there, from the prison? So the criminal has already told his decision that he will not go anywhere else. But these people wanted to get rid of the criminal somehow. So now they had a council, again a committee. They had a kind of a conversation. So finally they came to a conclusion where they would pay pension of 600 francs to the criminal and asking him to go away. Where they would announce that a sum was fixed to 600 francs and asking his opinion if he is okay with it. So now, this shows that the council wanted to get rid of the criminal in some way. So now they came to a conclusion where they fixed the pension of 600 francs. We'll see what happened next. "Well," said he, "I don't mind so long as you undertake to pay it regularly. On that condition, I am willing to go." The criminal has a condition here. Normally, who has a condition? It is the government or it is a judge who will have all sorts of a condition. But here, it's a criminal who has a condition. The condition is, I am okay with it, with the 600 francs that you people are giving me. I don't have any problem with that. But until and unless you pay me that amount regularly, on that condition, I am ready to go from here. Now, so the matter was settled. He received 1/3 of his annuity in advance and left the king's domain. It was only a quarter of an hour by rail, and he immigrated and settled just across the frontier, where he bought a bit of land, started market gardening, and now he lives comfortably. So now the matter finally was settled. He received 1/3 of his money and he left the place. It was only a quarter of an hour by rail. He immigrated and settled just across the frontier, where he bought a bit of land. Now, the criminal did not turn to be lazy. A criminal, after receiving 1/3 of the amount, he immigrated. He bought a piece of land, a bit of land. He started market gardening. If he would have been a lazy person, he would have not done this, because 600 francs receiving annually, he would have started living his life in a good manner. But he did not do that. Please note, there is a change in the behavior of the criminal. He started market gardening and he lived comfortably. And then he always goes at the proper time to draw his pension. So as the condition, he goes on a regular basis, a proper time to receive his pension from the king's palace. Having received it, he goes to the gaming tables, stakes 2 or 3 francs, sometimes wins and sometimes loses. And then returns home, he lives peaceably and well. So after receiving his pension, sometimes he goes even to the gaming house where he spends some 2 or 3 francs. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses, but he's not too much worried about it. He returns home happily. He's leading a comfortable life, a peaceable life, and he's staying happily. It is good thing that he did not commit his crime in a country where they do not grudge expense to cut a man's head off or to keep him in prison for life. So here, Leo Tolstoy says that it's good that he committed murder where they could not give a proper decision. Suppose if the same criminal would have done this act of committing murder in other countries, in other country, they would have cut his head off. So here, my dear students, the moral of the story here is Leo Tolstoy wants to give a chance to the criminal. He wants to improve their life where they become the asset to the society. A kind of betterment of life. This is what we have seen in the life of the criminal. As the chapter begins, we have seen that it was considered to be as a peaceable, that people loved peace. Slowly as we move on to the text, it even says that murder was committed. The problem starts from there. So Leo Tolstoy actually wants to give a chance to the criminal. On the other way, if you want to speak, it even speaks about the inefficiency of the government where they could not keep up their order, where they could not keep up their sentence. So here, my dear students, I hope so that you have enjoyed this chapter. Too dear mean too expensive. What is expensive here? You've already got to know about it. Taking up the decision, sticking on to it, and when they wanted an expert and a machine, it was too expensive. So finally what happens? You've seen all this thing. Hopefully that you have enjoyed the text. Please go through with the question and answer at the back of the textbook and answer that in your notebook, and please send a photo of it via WhatsApp. If you have any doubts, you can contact us through WhatsApp group or personally. Thank you.